Married at First Sight, season 15, San Diego, and this is episode 5. And this video is for Justin and Alexis. Catch my other videos on the other couples at the end of this video. You can click on the link, and also you can watch my after party because this week, once again, Justin was on the after party, and he was on the after party with all the other fellas, including Ben and Mitch. So it was a really good after party. So be sure to check it out. But this video and recap right now I'm doing is for Justin and Alexis. And welcome everybody. Welcome new people. Welcome back to people who've been working with me and rocking with me all season long. Let's get back talking about Justin and Alexis. And let me tell you, I really like Justin. I really like Justin. It is so refreshing to meet a person and see a person who is willing to open up, be vulnerable, be honest, and not care what people think of them, and not have 15 walls of Jericho and walls as tall as the Eiffel Tower built up in front of them, so that before you can even really get to know them, you got to scale a wall, you got to bulldoze a wall before you even get to know the real person. It is refreshing that Justin doesn't make me work so hard out here to get to know the real person. When on the other hand, Alexis is as confusing and double talking as all else because she's got so many walls. It's like Fort Knox. Can everybody start realizing that vulnerability is strength, that vulnerability isn't weakness? I wish, all the things we're changing out here in the world, I wish that's one of the things we could show, because showing vulnerability is strength. People think who have the walls up, they think that they're so strong, and the vulnerable people like the Justins are the weak ones. You got it backwards. You got it backwards. I'm gonna start calling Justin the love whisperer. You know that man who's the dog whisperer, and he settles down dogs. Justin is the love whisperer because he is settling down Alexis, and I'm happy to see that maybe she might be falling up underneath his spell and maybe loosening up a little bit. I really hope that she does, because she actually needs a man like Justin. In fact, there's a lot of women who need a man like Justin, to be honest with you. It's a lot of women walking around here who are so wound up with so many walls of protection that they actually need a Justin in their life. When they go on this horseback riding adventure, of course, Alexis wants the fast horse. And then, of course, they got to bring up the sex jokes again about don't be slapping them on the rear. And, and then Justin on the after party, Justin starts talking about, his horse kind of ran off. And so does Alexis, but she liked it when her horse ran off. But his horse was running off. He said it was hurting his man parts down below. So he's still referring to his man parts, but thank God they cut it out on the episode. But they talked about it on the after party. But the two of these two, I really think they need, like I said last week, stay away from talking about the man parts. Stay away from all the little sexual jokes and stuff, because we really don't need that. And Alexis is still going around blabbing her mouth about Justin being celibate or celibate, which makes it even worse. She don't even know the word and she's still using it, which is really even more ridiculous. But here she goes. Soon as she meets Ben and Morgan, oh, well, he's celibate. I don't know why. No, I do know why. Let me not say I don't know why, because I do know why. Alexis loves to embarrass Justin. And the reason why I think she loves to embarrass Justin about this being celibate things is because I think she thinks it's going to shame him enough that he'll have sex with her, because she's hot and horny. You could tell she'd be all over him. When they was on that boat and it was on that little raft, she was putting her body all over him. She always talking about her sticky booty, her booty, and all these references to sex. She's really trying to goad Justin into jumping her bones. She hot and horny. And I think she thinks, I'm going to keep bringing up this celibate thing until he becomes not celibate with me. But if you thought vulnerability wasn't strength and you thought vulnerability of Justin was a weakness, I don't know how you could still think that when you even heard Alexis explain it, because she don't even really, I don't even think she understood what she was saying, because what she was saying was she doesn't like to be vulnerable, because when she is vulnerable, it is allowing someone the ability to come in and hurt her. She's saying it makes you show your hand all at once, and it gives the other person the upper hand because they can see your whole hand. So what she's saying right now is she feels she's superior over Justin because Justin has been vulnerable and he showed his whole hand. So right now, what she's saying is she doesn't like to do what Justin does, because if she did what Justin does, she would feel weak. So if she would feel weak, that means she's also looking at Justin as weak. She's saying that she said another reason she doesn't like to be vulnerable is because it can give a person control over you. Because if they can make you really happy, they can make you also very upset, mad, angry, and sad. So when she's talking about how she doesn't like to be vulnerable, she's also telling you the way she views Justin, because as we know, Justin is very vulnerable. So she also feels as if she has the upper hand on Justin. So she said, I don't like to be vulnerable because it gives the other person the upper hand. That means she thinks she has the upper hand on Justin. So this whole thing about telling everybody he's celibate, in a way, it is Alexis's way of bullying Justin in order to get him to do what she wants. Because what she wants is she wants to have sex. So she figures, I will bully him, make him feel bad about being celibate, embarrass him in public, and then that way he'll have sex with me. But here's what Alexis doesn't get. Justin's not embarrassed, Alexis. So see, your tactics don't work. You would be embarrassed, but he's not embarrassed. And that is why I tell you, being vulnerable is a strength. It's not a weakness. Because actually, Alexis, you are a slave to being strong. You're actually more bound than Justin is bound. Because what you're saying is that you don't want to be vulnerable to a person because then they have too much control over you. But you know what you've just decided? You've decided you'd rather stay strong than be happy. You'd rather show strength than to invite joy and happiness into your life. You're saying in order to protect you from sadness and hurt, I'll block out happiness and joy. Because if I bring in happiness and joy, and then happiness and joy go away, I'm going to feel sadness and hurt. Well, guess what? You're dooming your life to a life of being protected, right? Sure, you protect yourself from sadness and hurt, but you know what else you don't get no happiness and joy in your life. So that comes from a place of weakness. That is a place of weakness. That is not a place of strength. Because people who are vulnerable, like the Justins of the world, and I even can say myself, is that the reason why I feel I'm a strong person, even though I'm a vulnerable person, is because I have the strength in knowing that even if someone hurts me, or even if a person makes me sad, I can recover. That's my strength. So I don't need to block out happiness and joy. I can let it in. You know why I can let it in? Because I know even if something goes wrong with that, I've got enough strength to overcome it. But when you're the type of person who can't even let happiness and joy in, and you got to always protect yourself, that's because you don't even have the faith in yourself that no matter what happens, you can overcome it. So now you got to protect yourself. That ain't a source of strength. That's a source of weakness. Justin talking about he living a dream. He talking about all the things he manifested. It's coming real. He feels like it's surreal. He on vacation. He riding a horse. He said this is what they do in the movies. This is what rich people do. And he said he's living the life and he's enjoying every single bit of it. And then you got Alexis over here. She's so scared of getting her heart broken. She can't even let all that joy in. So you see, Justin's living in the moment. He's like, I'm excited. I'm living my dream. I'm living my life. This is wonderful. And then here you got Alexis over here living in a cage. She can't even enjoy every single moment because she's so scared. Who is the courageous one? Is it Alexis or is it Justin? I say it's Justin. See, this is why I like drunk Alexis better. Remember when Alexis was drunk and she was free? It's because her guards were down. She wasn't overthinking everything. I liked her a lot better. Sober Alexis is guarded. She got walls up. Like I said, it's as thick as the walls of Jericho in the Bible, as tall as the Eiffel Tower. Her walls are so thick. But you know what? Justin has a lot of extra capacity. Everybody doesn't have the capacity that Justin has. And this is why I'm still hopeful for these two. Because I think that Justin has so much extra in his tank that he has enough for himself and he has enough for Alexis. That he could feed Alexis, spoon feed her. It's almost like an umbilical cord. Alexis can suck off of Justin's umbilical cord of happiness and vulnerability for a long time. Hopefully long enough for her to build up her own capacity. And eventually maybe they can meet. But Justin is absolutely carrying her. I hope she appreciates the fact that Justin is the one keeping this alive. He is the one feeding the relationship and she is sucking off of it. But it's hard for her. Every time he says something to her so sappy or whatever, because inside, like she said, she almost wants to vomit. She wants to run away because it's so foreign to her and she's so afraid of it. But you know what? The more Justin says it, the more it will be comfortable to her ears. This is why I don't believe this Alexis story about 3 proposals. She acts like she has never been in this space of a man really loving her. I don't know what your proposals came with, Alexis. It must have didn't come with some I love yous, because she acts as if she's brand new to a man loving her this deeply. Then I don't know who she was going to marry. All these proposals, like I said, their proposals were fake. Alexis likes to build up the narrative that she's strong and she's the rejecter, when to be honest with you, she's really afraid of rejection herself. And she got into it a little bit with her daddy on that boat. I'm telling you, it goes back to that daddy. She might need to go to therapy over this as well. When she was sitting on that boat talking to Stasha about the fact that her daddy was in her life, but she almost wished that he wasn't because she didn't really know her father. She talked about being with a father who's present physically, but not present emotionally. And maybe that's why she doesn't get involved with her emotions with the man. I don't know. I'm not going to psychoanalyze her, but she might need to go to therapy over this, because this obviously is contributing to her inability to open up and be vulnerable with a man. Because when she was with Stasha, she actually was able to show a side of vulnerability and care and concern that she isn't even able to do with Justin. She was caring more about Stasha's feelings than she cares about her own husband's feelings. She was asking Stasha, oh, I don't want to be too blunt and hurt your feelings because I'm told that. But then when she talks to Justin, she could care less about being blunt. Girl, you got a man issue. But Justin was laying on thick. He was saying, I knew from the beginning, I want you to have my babies. I want to be married with you forever. If I could have designed my perfect woman, it was you. He was laying it on thick like mayonnaise. Oh, he was lathering it all over Alexis. And let me tell you, she was swimming in it. And he was laying a solid foundation that whenever she's ready to step off that edge and she's so afraid of being vulnerable, he's saying, I'm going to be right here waiting for you with my hand held out. It's going to be safe and secure. Put your hand in mine and I'll take care of you. Let me tell you, Justin is the perfect guy that Alexis needs. I really hope these two work out. I really, really do. Because Alexis really can go through a serious metamorphosis with Justin. She can really come out of that whole life where she spent all this time, and she can come into this new world, which is Justin's world. And that is being safe and secure, being strong, even when you're vulnerable. And he said he gonna be ready for her when she come. Justin's on the after party, y'all. So check out my after party video as well, because he does some other talking in that as well. But that's it, y'all. Let me know what you think of this episode, what you think of what I just said, or you have some other comments to add. And I'll talk to you later. Talk to you later. Bye.